Right. If we can start with apologies for absence received.
Thank you, yes. So we have apologies from the Mayor, he has a mayoral commitment. We have apologies from Councillor Franklin, who has a family commitment. Ken Chapman, the Warden, sends his apologies, he has a travel commitment. And I understand from Dee that Andrew...
Hello.
Is that Andrew?
Yeah, my name's Andrew Lipczynski.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Angela. There you go, no apologies.
Simon,
Simon, pleased to meet you.
Hi, I'm Lynn Ripley.
Hello.
Oh, hands.
Yeah, it's right, it's a bit coloured there.
So, please have a seat.
Hi,
Thank you.
Andrew, I'm Dee.
Hello, Dee.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Right, but just to confirm, we are quo-rates.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and declarations, I don't see the introduction here, but I will just introduce. Can we just go around quickly for Andrew's sake with our names?
Thank you.
So Andrew here, obviously, and Dee. Martin, if you can just introduce yourself.
I'm Martin Hannington. I'm so this is correct.
Names
And I'm a councillor.
Just in
What else can I say?
And I'm Jill, the Town Clerk for Sandwich.
Yeah, I'm Simon Mallet, currently chairing this.
Lynn Ripley, just councillor.
I'm sitting there apparently. Yes.
That's Mark over there.
Yes.
Right.
Well, thank you. Maybe I should say a few words? Or?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I used to be involved on what was then called the Pfizer Monkswell Nature Reserve Committee. So my involvement goes back about 25 years when we first negotiated the handover of the land from Pfizer, creation of the reserve, and subsequent handing over to Sandwich Town Council. So it goes back in the days with Martin Griffiths. I used to be chairman and trustee at Sandwich Bay Bird Observatory and also on the Gaze and Salts Committee, so I do have prior.
Right.
So I'm very happy to join.
Super, thank you very much. Thank you. If we can move to number 2, item 2, declarations of interest, to receive any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interest from members in respect of business to be transacted on the agenda. I think we normally don't, so no, we don't. Number 3, minutes, to receive and approve the minutes of the Monkswell Nature Reserve Committee held on 25th of September 2024, and to consider any matters arising from those minutes, not covered elsewhere on the agenda. I have no comments myself. Oh, and
Yes,
Mark,
at the last committee meeting, I voted against the appointment of GW Finn and did ask for my vote to be recorded.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay. So that was, is that number 8? 24.8, 09.24.8.
Yeah, there was
Post
two.
works.
There was the
Proposed.
bird hide.
Yeah.
And the second thing was the appointment of the consultant.
Yeah.
And I voted against
Yes.
the appointment.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. I'll add that to the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else there? In that case, if we can have a proposer for the accepting the minutes. And that's Lynn is proposing. Oh, sorry, can you second then?
Well, I'll second it then. Yeah.
Yes, please. Sorry, I should have. So proposed by Lynn, seconded by Martin, and if we just vote on that. That's, I think. Good. Now, public participation. Don't think there's anybody here, but I will do the reading out anyway. 20-minute session is set aside for members of the public to make representations at the meeting in respect to the business on the agenda. Individual representations should not exceed 5 minutes. Written notice of the desire to exercise the right to speak, together with the topic to be addressed, must be given to the town clerk at least 4 hours in advance of the meeting. Right, if we can move on to number 5. And financial position for Monkswell Nature Reserve. Members to receive a report from the RFO, I presume you're going to be reading that out, Joe, from the Monkswell, from that details the current financial position, including earmarked reserves for the Monkswell Nature Reserve, and from that the decision is required. So over to you, Town Clerk.
Thank you. Yes, so it is just for you to receive the report and note it. So if you're happy with the information, if you have any queries, I can turn it back to the RFA.
No. I mentioned before that with regard to the funding, there's a possibility that it's going to be segregated into its own account to stop the town council account looking too wealthy. So it affects nothing, it's just an administrative element.
That's later in the agenda. That's your item. Number 8.
Oh, banking arrangements. In that case, I looked at this a long time ago.
Okay.
Right, if we can move on to number 5. Oh, sorry, we need to vote on this. Can I have a proposed from Martin Pennington and a second from Councillor Ripley? And we're all going to vote on that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And number 6, report from Monkswell Nature Reserve Warden. And this again will be passing over to Town Clerk. Members to receive a report from the Monkswell Nature Reserve Warden that spans the period from the 11th of August 2024 to 6th of October 2024. Members are invited to receive the report. Again, decision required.
Thank you very much. So obviously in the absence of Ken the Warden, he would normally expand on this. This is one of his sort of reserve diaries. So he records what he's doing on each date that he's at the reserve. So obviously normally he would do you an in-depth report, please, travel arrangements. So I thought it would be quite useful for you to actually see his site wildlife management diary, and that obviously gives you an idea of what is going on, you know, what he's witnessed in wildlife, you know, where he's worked in different compartments, and talking about sluice again. So it's quite detailed and quite useful for members to have that level of detail, so you can see exactly what's involved on a day-to-day basis. So it is just to receive and make a report.
Yeah. If we can have somebody to propose, Mark, second this, and that's Lynn, and we can vote on this, please. And you'll see that on the notes at the bottom of the agenda. Yes.
Can I ask, we discussed last time round, I think, the dog walker who appears very frequently. I think it only occurs once or twice in this report. Can I gather that the problem is gently being resolved?
Yes, can we jump up?
Yes, so I'm hopeful that it has, because I've been in contact with Highway and Marine, and we have strong suspicions that the person is on the river in a boat, and so especially particularly now that the reserve has been closed for at least a week, it's going into its second week. So I updated Highway and Marine to let them know that it's actually out of bounds now for 2 weeks, even though there is a public space protection order in place. So they've reminded everybody who owns a dog who's on the river, because obviously I didn't know who the person is. But yeah, they've told me that they've sent that email out to all their people that use the river.
Could I just make a couple of comments on that? You were saying about the reserve being closed.
Yes.
I was up there yesterday and there was no indication that it was closed.
Certainly there's signage up there which the Environment Agency have put up, their padlock gates. I don't know whether...
Not yesterday we were, wasn't it?
Oh,
They were working on the reserve and I think they've been working all week on it.
yes.
But I walked up there, did my usual, you know, walk around the reserve, did my bird count, and but of course they weren't working because it was the weekend.
Yes.
So perhaps they opened it up temporarily.
Yes. But certainly Monday the 25th was the first day it was closed.
Right.
We did put communication out on our Facebook and our website to let people know.
Yeah.
And there was signage up and there were padlocking the gates so that people would know.
Okay
But
then.
obviously, I don't know if they've maybe relaxed that for the weekend, but it's supposed to be this week as well,
Right.
unless the work is finished early. But yeah, I'll email them tomorrow and find out what's going on.
And the other thing I was going to say about the dog walker, I was there again on the 17th and he was up there with his dog. And I'm quite convinced he goes up there every day with his dog, to be quite honest. Because whenever I go just before dusk, either in the summer or the winter, I see him on the reserve. So, and there's a well-worn path now between the boatyard and the main hide. And it's not an area that many people go on because it's not part of the main reserve. So anyway, I should continue to monitor that.
Thank you. And if, I mean, that email went out on the 20th, I think it was,
Okay.
for all the boat owners to be aware that it's closing the 25th, and there is a PSPO in place. So I think if you wouldn't mind feeding back if you see him again,
Sure.
and because now I think we just need to maybe reinforce the signage and have maybe the PSPO in big bold letters somewhere on the reserve that actually, you know, highlights that fact.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thank you.
Right. I know we voted on this, that was on the report. Is there anything else that we should note from this particular area that might be associated with the Warden's report? Otherwise we'll carry on to number 7. Oh yes.
So, although it's not explicitly in the report, Ken did say before he went off to Africa that there was a item about the matter of approving out payments for a new screen, which was on the agenda for the full town council meeting on the 28th of October. Did that move forward or?
It hasn't at the moment because members wanted more information, so I'm awaiting, obviously Ken's away at the moment until he's back, and then we'll have the conversation when he's back early next week. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that. Right, in that case we'll move on to number 7. Sluice repair update. Town clerk to share a report on the progress with investigating the repair of a faulty sluice gate for Monkswall Nature Reserve. Members invited to receive and form a recommendation for council. And Councillor
I propose that we proceed with the recommendations.
Can I ask, does it have to go to full council? It says recommendation for council. Since we're only asking for quotes at this stage.
Yeah, Town clerk?
Yes, because of the expenditure part of the, you know, between £1,500 and £2,000, it would have to go to council for them to agree that expenditure. There isn't delegation for this committee. But that's obviously, I think, working with Julian now, the property manager as well, and he's been in contact with Ken, the warden. It's felt that I think there have been a few repairs, and we think the situation now might be a bit more critical. And I think this is a really sound approach to make sure that an engineer, an engineering firm will actually inspect it and do a detailed solution, so that can then be.
Of course, just throwing money up.
Yeah.
With cost repairs.
So we've had a proposal from Councillor Morehouse. Is there anybody who will second? Yes, Councillor Pennington.
Will you second?
Seconding.
I'll third.
You're third. Got a good. Yeah. So if we just vote on that, please. That is. Yeah. All voting. That's good. Number 8, Monkswall Nature Reserve banking arrangements. I jumped ahead earlier. Councillor Simon Mallock to provide a verbal report to the committee on the proposal to open a separate bank account for the Monkswall Nature Reserve. Members to note the information. As per my earlier comment, I read down, the council is putting a number of the larger funded items in separate accounts so that the council's bank account isn't skewed, doesn't look too high when it's not their money. So rather than saying, there's £100,000 and that's Monkswall, it's actually in a separate bank account. But it's made no change whatsoever to the accounting or anything like that. It is simply, I would say,
Avoiding overinflation.
That's it. Yes. I think there's any comment on that. I think that's Right, okay then.
Excuse me.
Yes, of course.
Really just apropos of the previous item, I apologise, that's still coming up to speed. What budgetary responsibility does this meeting have? Because I think you mentioned that 1,500 to 2,000 has to go to full council. What sort of permissions do we have in terms of expenditure within this committee?
Well, no, there isn't really at the moment. There isn't any actual budgetary responsibility, only in that you are receiving obviously the position of the Monkswood Nature Reserve, and obviously there is a gentleman that's employed to the RPA, and all that sort of information comes here. When it comes to expenditure, that does go to council.
So all items of expenditure have to go to full council? Okay, thank
Apart
you.
from if there's any delegation to me or the RFO, because we do have specific delegations as well. So if it's my, up to my delegated expenditure, and it is an item that has already been agreed by council, then obviously I could do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right, in that case, number 9, date and time of next meeting, the 2nd of December.
Sorry, that's a typo. It's the 3rd of March.
Oh, I thought 2nd of December, that's only
Today.
That's
today.
3rd of March.
3rd of March 2025. 2025. 3rd of March 2025.
So we're going to reconvene in an hour to see if we can reach a different conclusion.
Yes. This was just a practice. Right.
This is the quickest meeting I've ever been to.
Yes.
Meeting closed.